They sought a right to bind their gods and men, a sacred contest staged in sight again. To call forth order from the cosmic fray, they asked, what things make ritual into play? The ball, a weight of bound and breathing skin, finds meaning in the court it moves within. The player's body gives it shape and flight, a trio bound in one dynamic rite. Remove the court, no arcs to frame the play. Take out the ball, no will to guide the fray. They chose all three, for none alone endure, a trinity to hold the right secure. A ball they sought, both dangerous and true, to bounce with weight and yet survive the view. What substance could, when pressed by force, rebound, and carry still the thunder through the ground? The rubber bled from trees in forest heat, was bound and shaped into a weapon neat. Its structure, round and seamless, bore the role, its function, soaring power made whole. So proven craft reinforced its own demand, they forged again with resin, bark and hand. But structure raised a further thought of might. How would the court be shaped to meet its flight? To lengthen is to stretch the field of war, but width must grow or aim will slip the score. The walls rise high to catch the soaring spin. Their verticals respond to lines within. The alley stretched between the temple walls, its size to test endurance with the calls. But width must keep the struggle tight and fair, and height give walls to catch the ball mid-air. Thus length compelled the width, and width the rise, each causal link inscribed by cosmic ties. Unravel one, the harmony will fall, for ratio weaves the body of the hall. Yet measures met, a question still remained. What features would exalt, contain, restrain? The court, now framed, required a deeper theme. Zones, walls and rings to shape the player's dream. A court too bare would lack the drama's form. They carved its bounds to weather chaos' storm. End zones to close, side walls to redirect, a goal ring high, improbable, perfect. The ball might dash from stone to stone askew, no simple course, but ricochets accrue, and when through ring the sphere might chance to glide, the chaos turned to myth for all who cried. Yet as these walls and portals raised the game, they asked what body could endure such flame. The need arose for tools the flesh could bear. The guarded frame, the woven shell of care. The ball would bruise, its weight could break the bone. The player sought protection of his own. So gear was wrought to share the crushing load, and keep the right from ending on the road. The yoke of stone or wood embraced the waist. The knee pad blunted falls when rallies raced. The arm guard braced the strike when limbs would meet, together shielding body from defeat. Now safe to stand within the storm of weight, the players turned to how they'd operate. With bodies bound in armor's strong alloy, what phases would sustain the game's employ? The ball was fierce, too heavy for the hand, too sacred for the foot to take command. So law was drawn to bind the strike of play. The body bore the burden, day by day. The hip became the hammer of the fight. The thigh could lift, the chest could guide the flight. The knee, the arm in guarded forms applied. All else was banned, by rule and ritual tied. Thus gear and body met in sacred chore, their limits forged the movements to explore, and once the means of striking had been set, they turned to how the phases interconnect. No endless clash could hold the people's gaze. They sought a rhythm structured into phase. The serve began, the rally carried on, the point would close the cycle when it's won. Each part depended on the other's breath, the serve compelled the rally's lively death. The rally bled into the points design, together conjoined, 3 beats in single line. The serve ignites the cycle with its throw. The rally builds the rhythm, fast or slow. The point descends, a closure sharp and clear, yet none exist without the others near. The ball in flight was chaos without aim. The court supplied the channels of the game, but skill alone could bend the clash to art, unite the powers, play the nobler part. Motion demanded limit to be known. Constraint alone was silence, cold as stone. But skill transformed both silence and the storm, convergent triad birthing ordered form. And still the question lingered in the air, by what exact design could strikes ensnare? They probed the ball's deep energies within, force, angle, spin, the ways of strike begin. Force made the ball a weapon fierce and fast, but angle gave the flight its fated cast. Spin wove deception hard to calculate, together 3 would dictate rally's fate. One missing piece and power turned to loss, a wasted strike, a stumble on the cross. But joined as one, the triad held command. Combination crowned the player's guiding hand. Yet energy required a law to bind, for contest needed measure, score and sign. Thus rules arose to frame the risky chance. Boundaries, errors, points. the game's advance. The game without its rules was chaos plain. They drew the lines to mark the loss and gain. Boundaries framed the motion, strict and clear. Errors betrayed the lapse, the fault severe. From these emerged the point, the counted end. Association gave the game its bend. Together, rule and breach became the frame, the reckoning that sanctified the game. Yet rules alone could never make it whole, for play required the presence of the soul. They turned to ask what roles would bear the day: the self, the team, the witness in array. And so the final question still remained. The court prepared, the laws and roles ordained. From all the crowd, from priest to slave to king, who shall they choose to play and bear the ring?